and RCB, they've got to win because mathematically they are still not out of it. So there you go. This Super Sunday with all the superheroes in action is very much endgame. Thanks so much for joining us here on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live. Superheroes with me in the studio as well. Baz and Swanee joining us. Swanee and I, we took flights out of I think half an hour apart, but we got here back to Delhi. But I tell you what, you look at that points table, and gentlemen, I'm just going to ask you, just pick your four. You know CSK already through, who are the other three going through, Baz?
Yeah, look, I think Delhi will make...
Comes down to end game because you've got to think of the point that now that you read the points, you also want to win convincingly if it comes down to net run rate, for example.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's on an absolute one-sided drubbing, then that can affect your playoff chances too.
Baz, I think only you know how to stay calm under pressure because frankly, it is pressure time now for those that are involved. This is it, it's endgame day on Super Sunday. Let's find out what's on the show. Isn't it? They've got one of the best finishers in the business. Yes, Kolkata Knight Riders are now on 6 consecutive losses. The Knights, quite a few round-table discussions, I'm guessing, because, I mean, where has it gone wrong? Do they have themselves to blame for this? I asked the former Knight.
Yeah, look, to be fair, I should see them in good form the next couple of games.
Swanee, literally 20 days ago, they were at the top of the table. Where has it gone wrong for KKR?
But in cricket, sometimes you get on a run of...
Well, speaking about a happy camp, Mumbai Indians, I mean, their spinners are doing really well away from home. That's good because they're travelling to Eden Gardens, but the hitman would walk into this venue here saying, this is my turf. Lots of stake for Mumbai Indians as well. Win here, they're through.
Yeah, look, I'm really encouraged by the Mumbai Indian side, I think.
And also, you heard what Rohit Sharma said. He said it's not just about qualifying, but ensuring that we try and finish in the top 2 as well so that we can get a second chance to get into that final. But I tell you what, it's Super Sunday, which means superheroes in the house for us. And obviously a treat for you when 2 legends get together, Brian Lara and Sachin Tendulkar, playing some gully cricket. You'll get to see the second part of that conversation and Sachin's chase later on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live. But first up, we'll take a breather as the home ensuring that they also take one step closer towards that playoffs. Yes, it is endgame when it comes to this weekend because the race to the playoffs is well and truly on. There you go, Chennai Super Kings already qualified. DC and Mumbai Indians can qualify today, but the other teams, they're still mathematically not out of it. But we're all focusing on the superheroes today, not just these 2 superheroes in the studio. You're dance man, I've come to that conclusion. There we go. He's got the moves. Baz, come on, you got the moves as well. Who's your superhero today? Who you're most looking forward to? And what powers does he have?
I think the Delhi Capitals skipper Shreyas Iyer.
At home, otherwise you know that the Delhi batsmen have not been doing too well at home, so they've got to be able to change that around because the playoffs are beckoning. What about you, Swanee? Who's your superhero for the day?
There's superheroes all over the IPL. I think you've got to go Karthik.
So your superheroes are from KKR today? You think they can do it? Yeah? All right, there we go. He's already giving us a prediction. We didn't even ask him for one. That's how brilliant you are, Swanee. But I tell you what, it's going to be really, really exciting today because it is endgame, isn't it? For a lot of the teams that are in action today, their fortunes depend on the results on the field today. But for us here, the real superheroes were in the house as well. Home, Virat Kohli on the ground that he grew up in, the ground that nurtured his genius, and he and RCB are on this miracle streak of 3. What a streak that RCB have been on. Mathematically, they're still not out of it. Haydos joins us. Who holds the edge today, Haydos?
Oh, Virat Kohli, I think. I mean, shock.
50s at this venue, doesn't he? No Moeen Ali for him, no Dale Steyn for him, but mathematically they're not out of it.
No, they're not, and the other thing, they'll be looking back and going, gee, their opposition.
Absolutely. AB, their top scorer, Virat Kohli, just in a different form, especially when he takes on Delhi Capitals, especially when he walks into his home ground, the Kotla. But if they had to keep this streak alive, what are the challenges that Virat and RCB must overcome? On this ground at the Kotla, where he nurtured his genius that he grew up on, Virat Kohli has over 400 runs on this ground. He's got 550s at the Kotla. There's some most super players to watch out for. And also, these conditions have been a bit tricky for the Delhi batsmen to figure out.
Yeah, as I said before, it is a very difficult place to play. And I think you have to be a contemporary type cricketer that, not like the skipper of India, Virat, whether or not he's kind of just got that monkey off his back as well, is able to focus now on the IPL rather than the questions around the World Cup.
Go for all the points here. As I see the fans coming in here to the Firozshah Kotla, yes, there's blue, but there is a huge spattering of red as well, of course, for the hometown hero, Virat Kohli. So fans, are you divided? Do you support the Nai Delhi ka swag or do you support Virat Kohli ka swag? Run getter for RCB. He's playing those sort of, those sort of devastating knocks. He has fallen to spin a little bit. On this pitch, what does AB need to keep in mind?
Well, I guess it's a must.
AB de Villiers would also be wary of his countrymate, and that would be our MRFP battle, ABD versus Rabada. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to that as well, this sort of setup between the two of them, the key battle, because previously Rabada has dismissed ABD, and if he gets an opportunity...
Then expect AB to get a big score on this ground.
Already giving predictions, that's why we like it. He's spoken about this ground. Let's have a look at what our conditions will be like in our Dream 11 pitch report. He's almost like literally walking into our studios. You never know with him. But I tell you, one person who hasn't adjusted well to these conditions at all, surprisingly, he averages 70 away from home, Rishabh Pant. At home, Rishabh Pant is averaging 11. What's going on here, Hedos?
Yeah, well, as I've mentioned, I think there's been a few factors for him. First, I think there's been that distraction around.
Fighting for the playoffs here.
Here at Dalias, you don't get pace on the ball, so guys tend to bowl a little bit wider to him as well. They take the pace off, and obviously with spins, he's got to try and hook the wicket.
It's really the challenge that is thrown in a sense to all the DC batsmen. Can they better themselves at the home when the playoffs are just inside for them? Superheroes in action today. Superheroes that we keep our eye on in Star Trek. Always great to see Virat Kohli's reaction when he's watching AB de Villiers bat. It's like all of us watching him as fans, but he knows there are a couple of spinners in the lineup from Delhi Capitals. The conditions are made for that as well. He's fallen to the googly a couple of times as well. How does AB find his way through today?
Yeah, dominant player like an AB de Villiers or Virat Kohli, whether it's easy just to put the pressure on yourself completely. Guys, you've got another...
ABD can do that if required. We've already seen it from him this season. And if RCB has to keep their miracle streak going so far, that's what they need to do against the Delhi Capitals today. We'll take a breather, but on our way out, part 2 of the conversation between our superheroes, Brian Lara and Sachin Tendulkar. We'll be right back. For that, Anjum, so yes, DC batting first. You saw the smile on Shreyas Iyer's face, and you also saw the cheeky little sign from... What can you do? It's not in your control.
I know we're having a laugh about it, but it actually makes a massive...
To our studios, he knows his cue. It said dance cam, and you walked in and look, the DJ's playing James music.
There we go. I'm just here for me dancing.
I know. We're just here to have a lot of fun as the race to the playoffs heats up. I tell you what, things are really getting exciting. There you go. CSK have already qualified. DC with a win today against RCB can qualify as well. The man that we're focusing on is Rishabh Pant. Look, the good news is he has a good average against RCB. He has averaged about 45 against them. The bad news for Rishabh Pant this season, his average at home is 11, but he's coming off perspective. He wants to do it for DC because the fans that have gathered here have not seen their team make the playoffs since 2012. The Delhi boys, whether it's Rishabh Pant, whether it's Gabbar, how much love do they have for their own city in Nai Delhi?
Fantastic acquisition for Delhi Capitals, and look to him again tonight to really lead the way and set that platform.
Shikhar Dhawan has certainly been the one so far for Delhi Capitals, giving them the starts, showing that experience, that seniority, even if they tend to lose a few wickets early. That's why you need to have your... Also, Swanee, they're not as well coordinated as you are. They need to hold on to their catches.
Absolutely. I mean, the field is something great, and the catches do cost you massive games this time of the year as well. Taking discipline, and unfortunately, RCB, even though they've got some wonderful fielders, they've let themselves down at the start of this tournament with their fielding.
They're trying to catch up now on a miracle streak, aren't they, to see if they can curb the Delhi Capitals in their race towards the playoffs. Let's have a look at our Volta's cool facts.
And it happened to Prithvi Shaw earlier this season, and both times it happened in Delhi.
That's right, it is endgame today. Remember, there are 4 teams in action. It's a doubleheader on Super Sunday, and their fates hang in the balance. But for us, it's really exciting because all our superheroes are in action today. That is later today at Eden Gardens. But first up is Delhi Capitals, who won the toss. They're batting first. They know that they're just a whisker away from qualifying from the playoffs. I'll make my trip predictions time. That's a good score for DC.
Look, I think
Play a factor today. What's your prediction for that, Swanee?
Every time I've seen him out here, he scores runs, normally against England. So, yeah, I'm going to go for RCB. I said earlier that they're stirring the pot down the bottom. I don't think they'll qualify ultimately today.
Oh, so they're just going to shake things up a little bit. Have you ever had a situation where you gentlemen have agreed?
Well, I thought that was the deal.
I thought we had to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
But it's the highest total that we've seen at the Kotla this year. 60 runs added in the last 5. 46 of 19 from Akshar and Rutherford. It's just put a little bit of a life into this, hasn't it?
Oh, look, I think batting, that's a really good total.
It's a good way to finish it off because, like I said, it's the highest total we've seen at the Kotla this season. But RCB and Virat Kohli were in control. They managed to trigger a bit of a collapse from Delhi Capitals, and we've seen it a little too often, especially here at the Kotla.
Yeah, and it's because of the nature of the wicket, it slows up. So I think
you would know, considering you spent time in that dressing room last season. But look, have a look at this. One thing, you know, one of the batsmen that actually has a better average at home is Shreyas Iyer. They have one more home game left here. So what does Shreyas Iyer do right? How does he adapt himself to these conditions?
It's that he can attack and the bowlers that are going to be a danger to him, and also those who he can line up. If he takes those same learnings that he has here, then he's going to be successful everywhere.
Baz, but the Kotla woes continue for Rishabh Pant, and now he still has one more game at home left to play.
He tried to get himself in today. Unfortunately, he missed out, but he took the right attitude towards it. Get himself in, get the pace of
the fans here at the Kotla, even though it was hot, the temperatures are cool because they know if they win today, they're through to the playoffs. And it's the same for the evening game as Delhi Capitals. 188, Virat's your man?
Definitely is a man. I think 188, in my opinion, is 30 too many runs. But there is a factor that there's Virat Kohli, so who knows?
Either way, Baz says, it's a Virat Kohli factor. That's enough. We'll see you after the chase.